Okay, hi. We meet again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. And I hope all of my students are doing well today. So again, I will introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Hafiz bin Abu Sama, or you can call me Mr. Hafiz. I'm from Institut Latihan Perindustrian Tangkap, and I will be teaching you guys on our second module or second learning experience, which will be emphasizing on writing skills. For 2.1, we have covered on abbreviation, which is singkatan, short form of words or phrases. So now we will continue with another subtopic which falls under the same learning experience 2.0 writing skills, which is on graphic organizer. Okay, as we all know, if I give you two options, the first option would be, which one would you prefer to read or during leisure time? It's either newspaper or perhaps comic strip. Okay, I'll give you about 5 seconds to, or perhaps 10 seconds to think about it. A newspaper or comic strip, which one would you prefer more? Okay, because this is what I have done. What do you call it? Just a question that I ask my students. Okay, so for your information, my students would prefer to read comic strip more than newspaper. Why? Okay, this is because a comic strip, we don't have to read like give 100% focus on the words. Okay, we will tend to split our focus or our attention to the picture given, as well as a minimum number of words inside the dialogue box, right? So by giving pictures, by giving illustration or graphic, it will reinforce. First would be interest. Okay, you will tend to provoke students' interest or focus whenever we give them lesson, whenever we give them handouts. And the second one would be, it is much easier for them to understand the plot or the story. Okay, sebagai contoh, let's see, if I give you two options again, which one would you prefer more? A novel on Harry Potter, the Sorcerer's Stone, or perhaps the movie which Warner Brothers had produced? Movie, meaning that watching television, or perhaps watching from your the cinema. Which one would you prefer? Yes, of course, it would be the second option, movie from television or perhaps the cinema. Why? Because when we have different method when we learn something, okay, if you focus on reading novel, you will only focus on one method, which is writing method. But then when we focus, when I give you other option, for instance, when you watch movie, the same movie Harry Potter, you have movement, you have facial expression, you have body gestures, you have sounds, or perhaps language that they are currently using, and you have props, you have music, you have sets which perhaps will be gloomy or bright to suit the scene. That kind of alternative or additional input will help you to understand more, or perhaps to memorize whatever lessons that you learn, or perhaps that you need to absorb and to deliver to other people, perhaps in the near future, or whenever you teach someone else. Okay, so that would be the benefit if we have a graphic whenever we learn, because it will reinforce a much strong comprehension or understanding. So with that, let us begin with our second subtopic, which is on graphic organizer. Okay, let's move on to our next slide. So 2.2, graphic organizer. So introductory, graphic organizer guides the learner's thinking as they fill in and build upon a visual map or diagram. Okay, I will give you an example here. Let's talk about process. Okay, when you fry an egg, an omelette perhaps, what would be the first thing that you need to do? Okay, you need to have the proper, equipment. You need to have the basic necessity, the ingredient. You need to have the approach, the correct approach on how to cook an omelette, or perhaps to bake a cake, or perhaps whenever you involve in a particular sport, before you have a game, you have a friendly match. Normally, what would you do is that you don't simply you just run into the field and then you just start your game. You need to have a preparation. Okay, you have that particular step or procedures, or you need to have that basic foundation requirement before you begin something, right? So this is like it's like a scaffolding for you to understand whatever content or whatever lesson that you might learn in class, or even outside the class, or perhaps whenever you work in an authentic environment where you need to learn something from your supervisor or perhaps your leader in a working context, right? So graphic organizer guides the learner's thinking as they fill in and build upon a visual map or diagram. When you have that particular process strengthened, you will know the flow much more effectively. Okay, so let's take a look at the definition. 2.2.1 definition. Maksudnya, graphic organizer is the method of listing the idea. Awak menyenaraikan maklumat ataupun idea or main frame of each information daripada fahaman awak daripada setiap maklumat yang awak perolehi, so that it is easy to be understood, supaya ia lebih mudah difahami. A graphic organizer is a visual. Graphic organizer ialah gambar ataupun gambar raja, graphic display yang ditunjukkan ataupun diberikan kepada awak, that depicts the relationship between facts, yang mempunyai hubung kait dengan fakta, terms, terma and or ideas within a learning task, ataupun idea yang diberikan kepada awak di dalam konteks pembelajaran. Graphic organizers are also sometimes referred to as knowledge map, concept map, story maps, cognitive organizers, advanced organizers or concept diagram. Cognitive organizers, cognitive means your mind, your brain. Okay, whenever you have a diagram, whenever you have a mind map, or perhaps a user manual, or perhaps an illustration of an SOP, standard operating procedure, langkah-langkah for you perhaps to service a vehicle, to change a motor oil, to change a spark plug, or to sew a couture kind of dress, or perhaps to repair a handphone, to troubleshoot a laptop or an operating system. So normally they will come out with a user manual with an illustration or graphic for you to understand more the procedure, the method, the step, right? So do you understand whatever I'm trying to deliver here? So it's like diberi selalunya whenever we buy something, a handphone, kita diberi user manual. So user manual tu it will consist of direction, it will consist of illustration. Ada gambar raja, steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 on how you're going to set up your phone, or how you're going to set up whatever electronic devices that you buy that you want to use in the near future perhaps. or something that is a high tech, or something that is a gadget which is very complicated, that you buy, it will come with a user manual with illustration for you to understand more. Okay, so this is what we call as cognitive organizer, which the illustration will help you, will assist your brain to understand more of that particular context or particular item that you buy, and it will assist you to be more organized with how are you going to use that device or the item that you buy, right?